Welcome back to Solar Exploit. I set up a full security operations center for free. This is Wazuh, an open source SIEM that watches your machines and screams the second something looks wrong. Today, I'll show you how to catch a real attack live. Quick disclaimer before we start. Everything in this video runs inside my own isolated home lab on machines I own. This is for learning how to defend. Cool? Let's go. Okay, to install Wazuh, let's head straight to the official Wazuh website. We go to the installation page, then click Quick Start. Perfect. This page tells us exactly what we need to get started. One thing about hardware: if you're running this in a virtual machine, give it plenty of RAM and storage. Wazuh is memory hungry. For fewer than 25 agents, reserve at least 8 GB of RAM and 50 GB of disk. Wazuh supports a few operating systems: Amazon Linux, CentOS, Red Hat, and Ubuntu. Mine's running on Ubuntu inside a virtual machine, and that's where I'll install it. To install, you just copy this one command and paste it into your terminal. On my side, it threw an error. My Ubuntu was a fresh install, so it didn't have curl yet. Quick fix. I type sudo apt install curl. And there we go, curl installed successfully. Now I paste the Wazuh command. This takes about 3 to 6 minutes. When it's done, the dashboard spins up and Wazuh hands you a username and password. By default, the user is admin, and the password is freshly generated every time. Let's open the dashboard in the browser. To reach the interface, I need my IP address. So in a new terminal, I type IP ad@r, grab my local IP, and paste it into the browser. It asks if we trust this site. In this case, yes. The dashboard opens, we log in with admin and paste the password. And boom, that's the Wazuh dashboard. There are tons of features here: vulnerability detection, threat hunting, malware detection, file integrity monitoring, way too many to cover in one video. To add a new agent, we click here, Deploy New Agent. So what is an agent? The agent gets installed on an endpoint. It watches for violations on that machine and reports them back to the manager. First, which OS does the endpoint run? In my case, it's the DEB package for Debian. And that covers any Debian-based system: Kali, Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and plenty more. The server address is wherever your Wazuh server lives. I just read it from the browser URL and type it in. For the agent name, I'll use Ubuntu endpoint, and I'll leave groups on default. Now I copy this command and run it on the endpoint. So I open my virtual machine manager and boot up the second Ubuntu VM. It's up. I paste the command into the terminal, enter my root password, and it doesn't take long. Once it's installed, I copy the activation commands to start the agent. Now let's check. Back in the dashboard, I hit reload, and there's my endpoint. But it's not active yet. The trick? Don't copy-paste those 3 commands all at once. Run them one by one. After running them individually, I reload again to check the status. And boom, the agent's active. Over here we've got compliance. Compliance means automated audits. It tells you which standards you line up against. For example, PCI DSS stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. That's for banks and payment systems. There's also GDPR, NIST, and more. Next, we have vulnerability detection. I click into it, and here it shows a critical vulnerability on the endpoint. So what's happening? Wazuh runs a passive scan on the endpoint and lists the weaknesses it finds. Each one comes with a CVE number, and if you click it or search it online, it tells you exactly how to patch it. Finally, let's open threat hunting. This is where the live action lives. You can see security events as they happen: unwanted commands, a brute force attack rolling in, and a whole lot more. Alright, time to attack. I'm going after my own endpoint from Kali Linux to see if Wazuh catches me. First, I boot up the Kali VM and open a terminal. I need the endpoint's IP, so I grab it from the Wazuh dashboard. Before I attack anything, I want to know what's exposed. So I run nmap, that's network mapper. The command is nmap-sv-o, then my target IP. -sv scans services and their versions, and -o does OS detection. Scan's done. And look at that, a bunch of open ports. FTP, SSH, HTTP, Samba, and MySQL. Plenty to work with. Now I'll use Hydra to run a brute force attack against the SSH service. I type sudo hydra -l for the username, -big P for the password list, then SSH and the target IP. And we're done. The attack didn't succeed. The real password just wasn't in my word list. But here's the thing. This was never about cracking in. It's about whether Wazuh sees the attack happen. So let's check. Back in the dashboard. Endpoint, then threat hunting, then events. I hit refresh. And boom, there it is. A brute force attack against SSH flagged right here. Attempt to log in using a non-existent user. Let's inspect it. Here's everything: our endpoint IP, the attacker's IP, the usernames that were tried, and the targeted service, SSH. And right here it says it plainly: password guessing SSH. Let's try something simpler first. On the endpoint, I'll type the super user password wrong 3 times in a row. What happens? I head over to the Wazuh server, open threat hunting, then events. And there it is, my failed password attempts caught. We inspect it, and Wazuh flagged it as password guessing. Now let's do something different. I'll jump into the Wazuh documentation, into the proof of concept guide, and set up file integrity monitoring. The guide walks through exactly how it works. You edit the config file on the endpoint device. So I copy the path, go to the endpoint, and in the terminal I type sudo nano and paste that path. Then, inside the syscheck block, I add the line they give us. I find the spot, paste it in, save, and restart the agent one more time. Now for the test. I go into my root directory, into etc, and I rename the hosts file. Done. I check Wazuh, and there it is. Root executed something. We dig in, and boom, it shows the hosts file was renamed to hosts-2. Last one. Let's detect a SQL injection attack. Back to the documentation, proof of concept, the SQL Injection Detection Guide. The instructions say we need Apache 2 installed and a firewall opened. I've already got it installed, so I'll skip that. I just check that Apache 2 is running. I paste this command into the terminal. And yep, Apache 2 is active. On the endpoint, I add this one line to the agent's config file. Done, and I restart the agent again. Wazuh hands us an example command for the SQL injection. I copy it, jump over to Kali, paste it into the terminal, and drop in my endpoint's IP address. I hit enter, and the request throws a 404 not found, because we don't have an active database behind it. But that doesn't matter. I check the Wazuh dashboard, and boom, the SQL injection was detected. We inspect it, and there's all the detail we need. So, 3 different attacks, 3 different detection types, failed logins, file tampering, and web injection, all caught by a free SOC. Next solder exploit drop, I'll make Wazuh fight back with active response. Smash subscribe so you don't miss it.